Hey, what's up, guys? So, today we're going to talk about a touchy subject for a lot of people. Here's the truth about women in the military: women are 100% capable of doing and serving in a combat MOS with a man. No doubt. But there's been a lot of controversy with that, and we're going to get into that too. So I'm going to tell you guys some of my opinions and truly what I believe is going on. It took congressional approval to accept women into combat arms in our military. It happened about 10 years ago. 10 years is not a long time. Like, I was an 11 Bravo in active duty. That MOS, to this day, is male-dominated. For the first time in my career, right before I got kicked out, we had a female 11 Bravo in my platoon. And I was in for almost 7 years. And that was the first time I ever saw and worked with, I'd seen 11 Bravos before that were female, but that was the first time I had one and I was part of a platoon with one. And there's a lot of reasons to that. There was a lot of pushback from men. Men didn't want women in combat arms. So I'm going to tell you the culture. Not every 11 Bravo, every male soldier thinks this way, but there is enough to where it's concerning. I saw dudes who truly believed women couldn't think logically the way a man thinks. I saw dudes who truly believed women were inferior no matter what physically. And yes, women are naturally at a disadvantage, but I have seen women who can lift as much as a man, who can run faster than men, and can hump their weight. But those dudes just put that away and just assume, no, there's no way a woman could do that. And you're talking about guys who spend their weekends chasing tail and drinking on the weekends, talking about how much pussy they get. So their value of women in their minds isn't necessarily very good. I'll give you an example. 2017, I'm in basic training. We're in formation, and we're marching to chow, right? And we got a drill sergeant. Dude comes up to the front of the formation and goes, "Hey, you guys in the back." And mind you, he's saying this with females in our formation. "Do you know where you're going, or are you just fucking following the guy in front of you?" And we go, we're following the guy in front of us, drill sergeant. And his response is, "No, that's what fucking women do. Women don't do a goddamn thing in this country except find a fucking man and follow him around. You all need to start acting like fucking men." And I remember standing there going, holy fuck, you can't say that. And there were fucking females in the formation. Well, I began, as basic training progressed, we left reception because that's where we were, reception. Our first phase call, we had our phones for a little while, so, after calling family, I got on my phone and went on YouTube, and I started looking up the culture of the Army infantry. And I found a video from 2011 in Iraq, and there's this platoon sergeant, and he's giving a speech to the Iraqis. He goes, "Hey, are you guys out there leading from the front? You guys want to send your guys on patrols, you better be out there leading from the fucking front. See, this is the problem. You guys are out here acting like a bunch of fucking women." I went, oh, this makes sense. Because that was only, at the time, 6 years ago. And that's just how those dudes think. They don't want women in combat arms. But guess what they chase? They chase pussy. So, another story I have. I was in BCO 219. That was my basic training company. Across the street from us was another battalion called 258. And we were immediately hearing rumors and its nickname was 25 Rape. Because there was a lot of sexual misconduct going on. Because that's where a majority of the female 11 Bravos and Charlies, just the Bravos, were going for basic training. One of the buddies who ended up in the 82nd with me told me that they towed the line for about 45 minutes while their senior drill sergeant was fucking one of the female holdovers. He literally walked out of the office buttoning his pants and putting his belt on, and she leaves. So that's a problem. Immediately should have reported that for fraternization, and if that dude was married, which I'm pretty sure he was fucking married, he should have immediately gotten in trouble for that, because adultery is not acceptable in the military, because you're getting paid more money to be married, and the Army doesn't like it when you're fucking someone that's not your wife or your spouse, because they're paying you more money because you're married to that person. So that's just the mentality of a lot of dudes that they have there. Some of those dudes aren't going to tell you how they truly think. They're going to keep it quiet, but if you watch closely, you'll see how they really act. Now, I had a soldier who got a sharp complaint from his female sergeant. Here's what happened. She proclaimed that he stared at her while she was changing her tampon, and he was like 100 meters away. So, here's a story. They're in an open field. This fucking bitch decides to change her tampon out in the open instead of going to the wood line. And I don't mean like, I'm talking when anyone who's been in JRTC, who's been in the field, what's the rule? You get your shovel, you get your baby wipes, you go far in the fucking trees. You go as far as you can, and you do your business. That's the rule, because you don't want people to see you. She had the opportunity to do that, and she just decides to like do it out in the open, from what I understand. And I'm like, okay. She then freaks out and says that who became my soldier was staring at her. They do the case, and soldier's like, I didn't do it. He files a trial by court-martial. She refuses to testify, which, oh, you don't want to testify? She backed out of it. All right, that's your first indication. So, why am I bringing that up? Let me tell you about this female sergeant. How did she get promoted? She was an emotionally immature female. When she got yelled at, she cried. And also, if she was getting yelled at for a mistake she made, she refused to accept responsibility for it. I guess because she was convinced we had to validate her fucking feelings. Well, not we, but they had to validate her fucking feelings first. Instead of, hey, you fucked up, fix the issue. Because if you don't learn from this mistake and you keep doing it, chances are you're going to go to combat and get somebody fucking killed. That's why the military is such an aggressive culture with corrective action. You don't always have to be so aggressive with certain things. But certain things you have to be aggressive and slam them. The mentality of don't fuck this up again. Because you may fuck it up in real life and get somebody killed. We don't want that. And she was overly emotional. She would refuse to do stuff, from what I understand. So one time they went to Cleveland, Ohio to do some medical training, and there was a high-ranking sergeant major there. I don't know who this dude was, but she knew how to manipulate and be passive-aggressive. So she was an E4. She's like having a conversation with the sergeant major. I don't know why. I mean, I avoid sergeant majors unless I'm like working for them, which is weird. So she went up to him and told the sergeant major that her unit won't promote her solely because she's a woman. And despite the fact of her being a total shitbag, a fucking child, and overly emotional, no. It's solely because I'm a female. Okay. So she gets promoted to sergeant. And look what happens when she gets promoted to sergeant. My soldier goes through this whole fucking bullshit of a court-martial, spend $1,000 on attorneys, legal fees. If this was a dude, I think that it would have been handled a different way. But because a lot of these dudes don't value women and just immediately assume, oh, well, she's a woman or she's a victim, automatically, without being fair and impartial and knowing the facts. As a result, they gotta just let her get away with it. And my soldier's case was dropped. He's doing all right now, but still, a lot of things could have happened if this was avoided. A lot of things could have happened to avoid this. I don't get it. Another story I have. Let's see here. What do I got? JRTC, 2018. We're cleaning our bathrooms, right? We clean up our bathrooms, we mopped them, we threw trash out, whatever. We get word, hey guys, you got to go clean the female latrines. What the fuck? What do you mean we got to clean the female latrines? We go in there. There is pubic hair everywhere. There are bloody fucking tampons everywhere. And we had to clean that shit up. Use razor blade. It was a fucking mess. Why did we have to clean up someone else's mess? I was shocked by that. Oh, here's another example. You all know about my discharge, my commander. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the second I got to Red Devils, never forget this. I might be a bit of a hypocrite here, and I am for this, as I've been in this situation with rumor spreading, but when people are telling the same thing, and it's consistent, with not many details changing, it's kind of true. So, the 173rd Airborne is a very small unit. Typically, when you see dudes come from Italy to brag, you will see people that know each other and been in the same company together. I remember hearing the same thing about my commander. That when she was a PL in Italy, she let her squad leaders rail her out while they were in the field. How true is that? I don't know. But if it's true, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm hearing member NCOs, other people, I'm sitting being quiet in the company, just watching people, which is what you should do when you get to your first unit. Watch and see how people behave. And people are just saying how incompetent the CO is, how she sucks, how she's emotional. And then I remember going to the field, and I'm on ammo guard, and two soldiers, I bring her up, I'm like, what do you guys think of the commander? They told me they were on a land nav course with her. She said she didn't know how to land nav. She sucked at it. And then they started talking, and she said something along the lines of, so, what do you guys do on the weekends? I just want to let you guys know it's always a party at my place every weekend. And I'm thinking, holy fuck. Maybe the shit about her in Italy is true. Then a soldier in my platoon at the time, right? I remember seeing she would be really sweet to him. She would go, hey, and shit like that. She would always go on details and bring him along with her. And I'm thinking, those two are fucking. And talking to another member of the platoon that I trust, he went, oh yeah, no. They were probably fucking. The way they were interacting. Could we be completely wrong? Absolutely. But no. She was way too flirtatious with this man to definitely not be fucking him. So the question is what happened in those situations? Lack of accountability. Most of these senior officers and senior NCOs, and I say most, not all of them, they don't value women and don't think they belong in the military. When they fuck up, oh, well, she's just a woman. She's a fucking woman, so there's nothing to correct. And they're not trying to affect their careers and get an EO complaint for discriminating against someone for being a woman. So what do? They shut their fucking mouths in color because they're trying to get to their retirement and they don't give a fuck anymore. Because the army they once knew is now falling apart in their eyes. So now they're just trying to get the pension, make sure they take care of their family, and get the fuck out. So what's going on? Why are they not holding females accountable? Here's another example of a female. Sergeant Major Martin. Those you don't know who she is, she was formerly known as Sergeant Major Knapp. By the way, if you're watching this bitch, fuck you, you piece of shit. Sergeant Major Knapp was a Division Sergeant Major of the 101st. And she was probably the worst that there ever was in that division. She was removed and sent to Washington, D.C., and I believe she remarried and changed her last name from Knapp to Martin. She was caught giving a blowjob to a dude in the parking lot at Division HQ on Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And the government kept it quiet and moved her. But she got praise. The first female sergeant major of an infantry division. Yeah, she was a fucking piece of shit. But instead of holding her accountable, they just moved her. And what is she doing now? 101 Meme and Eagles has been an Instagram page that's been exposing a lot of what's going on. From what I've seen on his posts, this woman has been going on the internet and looking for anything that anybody says that's negative about her. She has admitted that she is filing falsified sworn statements and sharpened EO complaints. She's done this to people through social media that are in the military. I'm not talking the army. I read somewhere that she's doing this to sailors and airmen. That is fucking psychotic. When you don't hold people accountable for their actions, they think they can do whatever the fuck they want. Why don't you see males doing this? Because as soon as a dude does this, you slam him into a fucking wall. But all of a sudden, take the cock and balls away. What happens? What happens, guys? No, we can't hold them accountable. But that's fucking stupid. That's a sexist mentality. The sexism in the military is causing these issues. And that's what's going on. Now we're going to talk about why women belong in these MOSs. Donald Trump has said this before. Women are smarter than men, and it's true. They really are. I was assigned to a platoon, and I had brought this up. We had a female 11 Bravo. Let me tell you how this female 11 Bravo was. When I got demoted, I still wanted to bestow knowledge when there's nothing going on. I was on a weapons profile, so what could I do? I just gave classes on doctrine. She would sit down with me and ask me detailed questions and want to know about each battle drill so that she could teach it herself. She was very vastly interested in it. She wanted to know about weapon systems, how to improve on stuff. And there were dudes that wouldn't even fucking do that. They just want to sit down and fucking scroll on TikTok. Now, there's her in garrison. She also gave no attitude. When asked to do something, she did it. She was respectful in talking to NCOs. Go to the field. They told her to do exercises. She just shut up and did it. Some females, I've seen this before, they get an attitude. They think, how dare he make me do this, even though it's your fucking fault, and do something passive aggressive. Well, she did not follow that stereotype. She did her fucking job, and she was a gangster. She was a grenadier, and she was a very good shot, from what I saw, from what I knew. And she carried her fucking weight. She didn't fall out of shit. And she proved that just because you're a woman doesn't mean shit. She always did stuff, and she didn't seem like it was wearing her down, which was fucking gangster as shit. Now, go to 2021. I am on a detail at Small Unit Ranger Tactics, the pre-Ranger program. Our job was to deliver chow to the Ranger candidates that were going through the program. There was a female in that class. Now, on Fort Bragg, the pre-Ranger program, they feed you more than Ranger School, but they smoke the shit out of you worse. That's at least what they told us. And holy fuck, they showed no mercy. It's January in Fort Bragg. These candidates show up in uniform. They smoked the fuck out of them, got them all nice and sweaty. Then they said, all right, you guys are going to take a PT test now. Get changed. So outside in formation, they made them get fucking naked with a time hack and put their PTs on to take a PT test. And, I mean, none of us saw her. We all kind of looked away. We didn't want to see a bunch of naked dudes. But I know for a fact she was in that formation, and they made her get naked with everybody to get changed. They showed her no fucking mercy whatsoever. And I knew that they would say something. The dudes would always say, no, they're letting the females, they're going easy on her. They would say something. I remember talking to one of the candidates that we had to actually, he finished the program, we had to drive him back to his unit. And he said, no, dude, she was a badass out there. She kept up with us. And there you go. Another example of a female that can keep up with the boys. So what is the issue with the women in the military? And the number one issue is sexist senior leaders who don't value women. My old commander actually admitted this. So he was a private in 03. He was part of the Iraq invasion. Got out, commissioned, and became an officer and a commander. And I remember I would have conversations with him, and he told me, well, you younger guys are all about equality. I guess maybe women can handle it. That's just not how we thought back then. And he admitted that. But he said, I think women can do it. So, do women belong in combat MOSs? Yes. But only if you hold them to a fucking standard. Just like men who belong in combat MOSs. Hold them to a fucking standard, they're fine. Oh, he's being a shitbag, kick him out. But all of a sudden, take the cock and balls away, it's a different story. No, it's not the different story. It's the same fucking story. You want equality? You got to treat them with equality. I saw sexism throughout my entire almost 7 years in the Army. I saw dudes who literally believed that that women are nothing but a piece of pussy to them. I heard dudes, I had an NCO tell me I'll never salute a woman. And it's bullshit. And then because of that, I saw shitbag women damn near get away with murder. And because other people saw that, like Sergeant Major Martin, again, fuck you, bitch. They believed that this is how women are. And it made the ones that were good, like the soldier from my old platoon or that ranger, believe that all women are like this. And that's simply not true. Women can hack it. Anybody can hack it if you hold them to a fucking standard. I just wanted to put that out there. Put my views out there for you guys. And if you like it, don't like it, let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one.